Third space probe explores the poles. The Kerbal Space Administration was relieved that their third probe did not meet the same fate as its earlier counterpart. The redesigned Polar Exploration Probe was launched and inserted into an orbit intended to observe Kerbin's poles multiple times a day. Now that the KSA has proven their first success was not a fluke, they will begin to attempt more challenging missions as they receive more funding. Will this be one of the many successes to come, or will we see more failures in the future?
Hello everyone, this is Shimmy, and again I'm playing some more Kerbal Space Program, back with the Sandbox Space Campaign, and I'm going to do another mission today. So today what I am going to be doing is launching a communication satellite. As you saw in the previous episodes, the difference, the problem with those other satellites that launch is they go out of contact. The signal I lose after it goes beyond the horizon. So I'm going to go ahead and launch a satellite that hopefully will help relay and bounce that signal. So more satellites will be able to communicate with home. So I'm going to go ahead and start that right now. Go ahead and select this again. So the one thing about these communication satellites is they don't really give you much money to work with, especially if you're trying to get them into a geostationary orbit, which what I'm trying to do. The reward is only 21,720 krones, and well, the satellite that I've designed for that is actually a tad bit more expensive. However, it is going to be worth it, because in order for me to get satellites farther out from the bounds of Kerbin, I'm going to need these satellites. So I went ahead and made this, a ComSat Alpha. I know my naming convention is kind of boring. I'll probably come up with something a little bit more fancy later, but here's what I got. It's a 3-stage. I got 4 antenna, and I have the solar panels, of course, the propulsion for when I finally need to fine-tune my orbit, and these large dishes are what I'm going to need if I need to communicate with other satellites that go farther beyond kind of the geostationary orbit. Say if I'm going to send something to Moon or Minmus, I'm definitely going to need these. So I'm going to be launching several of these, but I'm just going to start with this one right now, just to make sure that the design is okay. Now, one other thing I've done, I've added parachutes to the bottom stage. Hopefully I'm going to be able to recover a portion of this bottom stage so I don't lose money. I'll probably stay perfectly even when it comes to this. So, current budget, just gonna say it right now, 81,274, and we'll see what it ends up after with everything done, assuming I can get this up in the air. So let's go ahead and launch this. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a regular orbit like the first launch I did. But instead of trying to get it into a circular orbit, I'm going to try and get it into a very eccentric orbit that's going to take me up high to geostationary, which is about 2.86 thousand? 2.868? Yes, 2.868 thousand kilometers. So, alrighty. Here we go. Fingers crossed. 3, 2, 1, and lift off. Go ahead and drop my throttle a little bit. I'm probably just going to go ahead and cut forward to the point where it gets interesting. So I'll see you then. Alrighty, I'm just going to start my gravity turn. I'm going to do this a little bit earlier than I usually do it. That might have been causing the issues that I was having before. If I just need to be absolutely sure that I need to get to the point in which I can burn towards geostationary transfer orbit without losing contact, because if I do that, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to take care of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep going, assuming everything is going okay. I'll just cut a little bit more forward. Oh, see that? I got 2,600 back, so that's definitely going to help. I think that, assuming this all goes well, I'm going to be in the positive. So yes, as I was saying, I'm probably just going to go ahead and cut forward until I get to some more interesting parts here. So let's just keep going on with this launch. Alrighty, so this stage is just out. I'm going to go ahead and launch this stage now. I'm not going to try and circularize, then go into an orbit later. I'm going to need to do this as quick as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and expand the panels here so we can see our apoapsis is going up pretty high pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and drop down thrust here. Whoa, there we go. And I'm going to want to make sure and I stop when this hits 2.868. 2.2, 2.3, drop throttle again. I'm going to need to be really close about this. 8, 6. Oh, alrighty. So, there we go. Now I'm in a geostationary transfer orbit. However, I'm going to need to be careful about this because my current periapsis is below the surface of or not the surface of Kerbal, but it's in the atmosphere. So if I come back down, I'm gonna lose my speed, and it's gonna mess it up. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to correct that before I come back down again. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do all this perfectly the first time around, but we're just gonna go ahead and try. So basically what I'm gonna do when I get up to this point, I'm going to want to burn until it's circular. But the thing is, I can't do that unless I am currently in the line of sight of Kerbal Space Center. So anyway, let's just go ahead and fast forward here. I believe I'm going to be out of contact, right? Right? Oh, yes. Wow. I'm surprised. Well, anyway, I'm going to be out of contact here any second, so I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward. Fast forward. Yes. Oh, okay. I was bouncing signal. That's what was going on. So if I click on that, maybe it'll show me if I'm bouncing signal again. Yep, I'm definitely it's not going to work this time around. I think I'm going to need to do it a few times or something. Out of contact. So here's where the problem happens. I need to make sure I don't re-enter the atmosphere before I get to my periapsis. Okay, relay. Let's see if I can turn around, burn forward, just so long as it's 70. Alrighty. I kind of messed that up a bit, so maybe if I needs to be 2.868, so if I maybe do something like this. Yes. 867. Go ahead and burn towards the planet. Alrighty, perfect. So, that actually helped, these relays. I don't know... Oh, okay, I see. I see what's going on here. So I'm going to need to do this a few times. I'm going to need to orbit a few times until I get it. Because what I want to do is actually put the satellite right above Kerbal. So it's always in line of sight. Yeah, see, it's just not good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and time warp. And I'm going to go ahead and continue here. So until I get this into a perfect situation, I'll just go ahead and cut towards that. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, so I'm not perfectly over the Kerbal Space Center, or KSC. However, I feel that this is going to be good enough for now until I get everything else set up, because just so long as it's in line of sight here, it's going to help me out a lot when I'm setting up all these others. So I'm going to go ahead and circularize this orbit here. Apoapsis is coming up in 30 seconds. I'm not going to set up a maneuver node. I'm just going to go ahead and do this manually. Shouldn't be too difficult. Burning at 100%. And instead of trying to get this perfectly circular, what I'm actually going to try and pay attention to is the orbital period. In order for something to be geostationary, you know, it has to be perfectly circular. However, if you get the orbital period exactly the same as of the planet, it's going to wobble a little bit, but it's going to stay roughly in the same part of the sky. So that's my intention. And it doesn't need to be perfect, just so long as the period is exactly the same as Kerbal's, I'm going to be perfectly fine. And so what Kerbal's orbital is a day is 6 days, so that is what I'm going to make sure it is. So currently at 5 hours, 59 seconds, or 59 minutes and 54 seconds. And did that again. 2 seconds. Maybe I can adjust this by going back a little bit. 57. Yeah, sometimes it can be really tricky. If I had RCS on this thing, it'd be a different story. All right, within a second. That is going to be perfectly fine for me. I finally have my first communication satellite. Just going to go ahead and leave it in this orientation. So, mission has been accomplished. Let's see what we got here. Let's go ahead and finish the mission. Yes, I've done all that. The mission parameters was pretty much just get a satellite into orbit. It didn't really have anything else other than that. However, the thing is, it's just a really cheap payout, so that's you know what I had to pay attention to. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish the mission. 81,478. Is that exactly the same amount as what I had before? I'm gonna have to look at it beforehand and see what it is. Anyway, mission has been successfully accomplished, and that is that. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for now. Once again, this was Shimmy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.